Hi, I recently watched The Running Man, the 1987 film now remade in 2025. It's very loosely adapted from a novella by Richard Bachman, which is a pen name for Stephen King. King was concerned in the early 80s that his books were being highly praised and selling well based solely on his name. So he started publishing some of his earlier manuscripts under a new name to see if they were as successful. And it turned out that in general, they probably weren't, I think. Anyway, The Running Man in the original novel is about a game show where people go on the run across America for 30 days and are hunted by experienced hunters. Members of the public can inform on them to win a cash prize, and if the person wins after 30 days, they win a huge prize. But America is a disgusting police state, a Orwellian nightmare, and the whole thing is being controlled by the television network that seeks simply to control and subjugate. The 1987 film made this more of a fantastical action adventure with Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's quite silly, but it's lots of fun. Edgar Wright's new version tries to skew closer to the original novel. It tries to retain the dark Orwellian side of it, as well as particularly the whole chase across America story that was confined simply to a particular arena space in the previous film. The problem with the movie, though, is that it can never decide on the tone. Wright wants to just do another version of the previous film. He doesn't want to delve into the darkness and the political misery of the original book. He just wants to have fun with goofy action scenes, and that's fine. But it means that the film has this weird disconnect. It's constantly pulling in these two different directions of trying to be serious and trying to be silly at the same time. It's also wildly overstuffed and overwritten. It feels a great deal longer than it ought to be. I think it's close to 2.25 hours. I think about half an hour longer than the previous film. And it's paced quite badly. Major characters are introduced quite late in the film, which feels unsteady and off kilter. And the result is a film that really it doesn't work the way anyone would, I think, really want it to. It never commits to the funny, goofy side or the dark political side in particular. It chickens out of the book's famous ending, which in contemporary filmmaking would be completely unfeasible. But it infers that it's going to do something, and then it doesn't, and then it goes off into something else, and then there's a whole other act after that, and it feels like it's spinning its wheels too much and just adding in more and more stuff to fill out the running time. Glen Powell as the lead is as colourless as in everything else I've seen him in. He's not a particularly charismatic or interesting or entertaining presence on screen. I found him quite dull to watch. He's not a bad actor in so much as he doesn't bring any particular personality or star quality. He's very hyped by Tom Cruise, I believe. I mean, the story is that he's to take over the lead in the Mission Impossible movies, but he's so bland that I really don't think that would work. And his kind of uninteresting screen presence here really doesn't help the movie at all. One of the great innovations that the previous film did in terms of streamlining the story was combining the producer and host of the Running Man TV show into a single character. Damon Killian, played by Richard Dawson, who was himself a very successful game show host. Here we have two separate characters. Dan Killian, I think, played by Josh Brolin, and the show's host, Bobby T, a much smaller role played by Coleman Domingo. There does seem to be a problem where there are actors who are prominently billed despite having very small roles. Sean Hayes is very prominently billed despite having about 30 seconds of screen time in the first 5 minutes and adding absolutely nothing to the story. Again, the actor who is introduced as another protagonist late in the movie contributes nothing. It's a film where there's very little overall controlling concept. It's all very disorganized, very shambolic. It can never decide what it wants to be, And the result is that even though some parts of it are well made, some parts are well assembled, it never comes together. What should have been a big plot twist of the reveal of the identity of the the main hunter character in the film's final act instead falls flat because it's never really set up properly. And I think that's just emblematic of the whole movie. It's very slapdash, it's very sloppy. No one really thought anything through, no one really gave too much concern to it. And the result is that it's one of the biggest flops of the year. And to be honest, I think it probably deserves it.